Hello again, this is Liam from Doodle-Art, and today we're going to be working on some advanced coloring techniques for the Doodle-App. We're going to start by selecting a Doodle-Art poster that I've already been working on. It's called Mini Dolls, and I'm going to be using a stylus today. I find it a little easier to use than the fingertip, a little more accurate, a little more control. And I'm going to show you some examples by just zooming in using my finger and my thumb to spread and show the detail in this. I'm going to hit undo there. As you can see, I made a mark. And this is an example of what you can do. Now, using the same two-finger gesture, I can move around inside the Doodle-Art and take a look at different areas. This is one that I just did the other day. And I could continue with that, but in fact today I think what we'll do is, zooming out a bit, we're just going to take another character in this poster and color her in. So how about this one? Okay, the first thing we want to do is obviously pick a flesh tone if we're going to be working on the face. So I'm going to use number 10 here, and we're going to select a marker size, fairly small, and then just start coloring. Hit marker again to deselect and then start coloring. So that's a good size. It might take me a bit long to color in, so I'm going to select a slightly larger marker size here, and that's that. Okay, here we go. And you don't have to be terribly accurate when you're filling in the basic color. You can tidy that up later with the eraser tool. And here we go. So, just fill it all in. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Okay, now I've selected a fairly medium tone for the skin. I can go in and I can scan through and see if there's perhaps a lighter one like this one, where we can add highlights or make it a bit more pink. Now in this case, pink might be very good because it's a doll. So there you go, it's up to you. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to select a color that maybe is a little less pink. I'll go back to the original color and we'll select the shadow color. Now, using the marker tool, we can select a size. I'm going to bring it right down to the smallest it'll go, 1 pixel, and hit the marker tool again to deselect it. And now I'm just going to color in here on the edge and give the nose a bit more shadow. Now that shadow will go up into underneath of the eyebrow, and so I'll do the same thing over here. And I'll bring it down along the side of the nose. Now don't worry, I know it looks pretty odd right now, but once I get going, you'll see that it will take shape. Now, I'm going to start going along the edge, but I'll show you a trick. If I undo that last coloring, where I put the shadow along the right-hand side there, what you can do is you can actually bring the shadow just in a bit, so it's not right on the edge. And you'll see that it creates a little bit of a halo on the side of the face. So if I bring that down along right to the black line on the chin, now I've got a chin and I've got a little bit of the edge of the face. And I can do the same thing on this side, bring it off the edge and then tuck it down to where the chin is, where there would be an actual shadow. Now underneath the hat and the hair, I can also bring that shadow right up underneath. And you have to imagine that the hair is laying across the face just like this, and it would leave a natural shadow. So you try to imagine where the light would fall. So far right now we have a little bit of the face done. It's certainly nowhere near perfect, but it's a general guideline. And I'm going to do under the neck as well. And you have to make that shadow a bit bigger because there's more of an object casting a shadow. It's her whole chin and her jaw that's casting the shadow. So now we'll go back to the original color, which was number 10, and we'll just contour those lines, tailor them a bit, make them a little smoother. And you'll notice that when you start dabbing with the stylus and just making little marks, that it sort of blends it a little bit. There's a little bit of a radius to the pixels. So I can start really getting finicky and put a lot of detail in here by just tailoring each little line to fit the way I want it to fit. And we've only dealt with 2 colors here so far. We've just got the light beige 10 and then 10A, which is the shadow of 10. And you'll see that's how it's designed. We've got a color like 10, and then below it is the shadow of that color, and it's the same for all of these. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to pick something that has a bit more warmth to it, like 11. 11 has a bit more red and a bit more color to it. So I'm going to put that in the deeper shadows and try and bring up the color a bit. And you'll notice I'm not covering all of it. I'm just going halfway between the 10 and the 10A. Now 11 is going to be the next step. And then I could go in further and take 11A and do that in the very corner of the neck like that. So now it's starting to get some color. So I'm going to take that same 10A because it's good and dark, and I can make that the shadow right under the hat and the hair because that's going to be a fairly dark area. And as you'll notice, I'm not worried about the edges of the hair and the hat, and being messy like that. It doesn't matter. It's going to be erased later on or covered up. So I'm going to go back in with this, and I'm going to add these little bits of shadow to her eyes, a little bit underneath, and a little bit along the nose here. And I'm going to go back to 11, which is slightly lighter, and I'm just going to use that to add more color. Now, one of the things I want to do, I definitely want to finish the nose here, is go inside the ear there. One of the things I want to do is I want to add some rosiness to the cheeks. So I'm going to go back to my color picker, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to pick this light pink here, and I'm just going to color in the cheek, both cheeks actually, and give her a little bit of a rosy glow. And now I'm going to experiment with using that pink and bringing it in to the eyes to give them a bit more warmth. And you'll notice that I'm doing it right underneath the eyebrow, and that's going to make the eyebrows jump a little bit, or lift. So I'm going to go back to my original color, which was 10, and actually no, I'm going to choose 11 and just put the shadow back in a bit and blend it with that pink. And there we go. That's working already.